Welcome to day 2 of week 4. So this is day 2, week 4. You are making progress. So we're going to talk about recognizing your personal boundaries and when they are violated. You need to understand how important your personal boundaries are. So for me, my personal boundaries is when someone disrespects me. I know I don't like it. I never did. But I used to think like, you disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you. I'm going to retaliate and say something back to you. If you say something negative to me, I'm going to say something negative to you. But now I realize that is not the way to go. So this is what I want to explain to you about setting boundaries. And first of all, recognize them first before you can set them. So let's talk about that. So recognizing personal boundaries and understanding why they are violated by, no, let's go back. So recognizing personal boundaries and understanding when they are violated by the narcissist, it can be challenging, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist for a while, that narcissist feel like they own you, and they act like they own you, and they feel like they can really treat you any kind of way because you're property to them. You're not a person anymore. You're not a human with real valid feelings. You are property, and they can treat you any kind of way they want because they really feel like you belong to them. So, here are some steps and strategies that can help you identify and protect your boundaries. First, you want to understand personal boundaries. Define your boundaries. You have to define them. What are they? So reflect on your values, your needs, and your limits. What is too much for you, okay? You have to have a stopping point. You have to. You gotta have a place when it's like, okay, enough is enough. This is too much. I'm not taking any more of this. So you have to have a stopping point. Don't overtake. If you're a person who say, oh, I got high tolerance for pain, that's a problem. Because you shouldn't have high tolerance for pain when the pain is unnecessary. It's not like you have to go through this and feel and endure the pain. No. So you shouldn't have to deal with that. Know your limits. You want to consider what behaviors, actions, or attitudes when you find what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. So what you would do is take a piece of paper, write a line down the middle, draw a line down the middle, write acceptable behavior, unacceptable behavior, acceptable on the left side, unacceptable on the right side. And then you write a list of things that is acceptable for you. And then on the other side, the unacceptable, write a list of things that are not acceptable for you. And you want to go down that line and say, the narcissist does this, does that, does this, and that, and then you see what is really happening in your relationship. So definitely compare and contrast. You want to write down your boundaries. After you have done that, now you want to write down your boundaries in different areas of your life, such as your emotional, physical, financial, and your social boundaries. We'll get deeper into that as we go. What are those? We'll get deeper into that. So first, you want to know your rights. You have rights. We all do. You want to know your rights. You want to understand that you have the right to feel safe, respected, and valued. Recognize that you have the right to say no. You also have the right to change your mind at any time. If you don't want, you made up your mind and you say yes about something and you say, you know what, I don't change my mind. You can change your mind. Don't be afraid to change your mind and to prioritize your own well-being. You come first. Self-care is not selfish. You come first. If you're not safe and you're not healthy, You can't do anything for anybody else, all right? So you gotta take care of yourself. Recognizing boundary violation, emotional reactions. Pay attention to your emotional responses. That is very, very important. Feeling of discomfort, resentment, anxiety, and frustration are often indicators that our boundaries has been crossed. That's what that is. You start feeling unease, frustrated, you feeling resentment, discomfort, anxious, you can have an anxiety. Yeah, those are indication that your boundaries been crossed because you shouldn't be feeling that way. So trust your gut. If you feel something is wrong, it's probably is, okay? It's probably wrong. Remember that our body have natural defense mechanism. We have the fight or flight in us, okay? So when our body naturally start responding in a fight or flight syndrome, like it's getting ready to feel a certain kind of way, something's wrong. Pay attention to that. So behavior signals, talk about that. Behavior signals. Notice if you feel drained, manipulated, or controlled after interaction with the narcissist. Do you feel like that? One of the things I used to feel after talking to my ex-husband was I would get a headache. I would get a migraine. It would just start coming on like he just knew. Like he had a mind of his own. I could be chilling and everything, and it'll be time when the phone will ring, and then I get on the phone with him, he'll be talking, and he ain't got to be talking about anything that's negative. It's just his voice alone. I would start just getting a headache, and I'm like, ooh. And I remember when we finally separated. We wasn't divorced yet, but we separated, and I had already filed for divorce. And he was trying to tell me that he was getting counseling and all that, and I'm like, whatever. But I just let him talk, and while he was talking, my head started hurting, and I say, man, my head is hurting. And he say, what? So that's where your migraines been coming from? Me? I've been giving you the migraines? And I was like, yeah, because I haven't had one since you've been gone. And I haven't talked to you in a while, and now that you're on the phone, and I'm trying to get you to sign these papers, my head hurt. I need to get off the phone. And I did. I got off the phone. I was like, I don't want to talk anymore. I really just need to get some sleep. And it was at that time I was in the hotel about to go to sleep because I have to get up early to go to work. So yeah, I remember that. So please pay attention to those things. So be aware of patterns of disrespect, such as belittling, ignoring you when you're talking, they're not listening, or they are invalidating your feelings and your opinion, so they're not taking you seriously. All right, like what you're saying is just not important. All right, so you want to also pay attention to change in your behavior. Remember, this is all about you right now. This here is about you and your boundaries. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you and your boundaries, okay? It's about you. So you're paying attention to yourself, to your body, to your reaction, to your response. That's what you're doing today. This is what today's assignment is, okay? So you want to pay attention to changing your behavior, your own behavior. Things you want to reflect on, whether you are frequently alternating your behavior to avoid conflict or appease the narcissist. You want to do things to make the narcissist happy when you know good and well the narcissist is never happy, not truly happy, that is. You want to also observe if you are constantly walking on eggshells. You tiptoeing around trying to make sure you don't crack an egg, all right? And you want to make sure that you're not suppressing your own needs or compromising your own value to maintain peace. Pay attention to that. here are some common boundary violation by the narcissist. I want you to pay attention to this. This is some of the things they normally do. Emotional manipulation, gaslighting. We've been talking about that. I told you I'm going to repeat myself through the course to get you to remember. So remember this, gaslighting. The narcissist may deny your reality or make you doubt your own perception. Oh, I didn't do that. That didn't happen. Oh, you're just making that up. Oh, you overreacting. They might do that to you. That's part of, most of the time they will do that to you. Love bombing and devaluation. Fluctuating between excessive praise and harsh criticism to control and confuse you. And then we have invasion of privacy. Yeah, I've had that happen to me. So snooping, reading your messages, or intruding in your own personal space without your permission. So that's some of the things they do. Controlling behavior. Here's some more things. So making decisions for you. Dictating how you should think or feel. You know what? I remember, I thought it was so crazy when my ex-husband was saying, you should be responding like this. And I'm like, huh? When this happened, you should say this. I'm like, really? Well, you should feel like that. I'm like, really? Like, do I really supposed to, like, how are you to tell me how I'm supposed to respond and feel and react? You can't tell me how to feel and how to respond and how to act. I'm going to respond and feel the way you're making me feel. The way you're making me feel like responding to you. And then he would go on to say other things, and I was something. So towards the end, it's just, to me, I started taking him as a joke. At first, I got to a point where I was feeling sorry for him. Like, dang, this dude really is screwed up in the head. I remember I would stare at that bald head of his and just stare him down and say to myself, man, he got a lot of craziness going on up there in that dome of his. It is so pathetic. I feel sorry for him. But then after I started feeling sorry for him, and I said, he's 51 years old. Hell, I ain't feeling sorry for him. He knows dang on well what he's doing. And then I started looking at him as a joke. Like, dang, all these years you ain't do nothing with yourself. You mad at the world. And instead of you enjoying what you have, you got a beautiful wife. You have a roof over your head. You got transportation. I mean, yeah, your health ain't that great, but you can get yourself in good shape if you just to listen to your doctor and do better. And that's some things I would say and think and just be like, this dude just really don't have it together. But after I learned that that's something that he was doing to himself and I was not his savior, I started praying about it. I said, God, I could not save him. That's for you to do. And when I recognized that I could not save him, I started focusing on myself to save myself. And I'm letting you know, you can do the same. So here are some more common boundary violations that narcissists do. They also like to control. So controlling behavior by making decisions for you, dictating how you should feel, think. I said that. And they also like to isolate you from your friends and family. So let's talk about, and then there's lack of respect. So let's talk about the lack of respect. So disregarding your opinions, interrupting you while you're talking, and trivializing your concerns. When they do that, that's because they know that you are smarter than them, and they don't want you to be. So they don't want to hear what you have to say. They will tell you, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You think you know everything. And they know you are really telling the truth. They just know that they didn't know it. You got information that they don't have. And they don't like it. So here are some strategies to enforce boundaries. Let's talk about enforcing your boundaries. Here are some strategies. So consider these things here. Assertive communication. Clearly and calmly communicate your boundaries with the narcissist. Like, don't be yelling and screaming and all that. Don't be like, You gotta stop making it. Don't do that. You know, just calmly use I statements to express your feelings and what you need. Some simple things like, I feel disrespected when you invade my privacy. I need you to respect my space. So you want to do it similar to that, okay? Don't be like, I feel disrespected when you invade my privacy, and they're gonna be like, whatever. No, you say it assertive, okay? I feel disrespected when you invade my privacy. I also feel violated when you invade my space. I would appreciate it if you will stop doing that. Okay? Then you also, of course, they're going to have some backlash or whatever, but I'm just telling you how to talk. Just showing you an example of how you can express yourself. So one thing about a narcissist, they don't like you to express yourself. They don't want to, they feel like when you're expressing yourself, you're disrespecting them, and that's not the case. They know that you're taking up for yourself when you express yourself, and they don't want you to take up for yourself. So start taking up for yourself, all right? So be specific about what behaviors are acceptable and what changes you expect from them. Like, you have to be very, very assertive about it, all right? So consistently enforce your boundaries. Do not let up, all right? Don't give into the guilt tripping and the manipulation tactics that they're going to be doing. They're going to do it, so don't give into it. So be prepared for resistance and backlash. Remember I said that. Be prepared for it from the narcissist. And you want to refrain from withdrawing yourself. When they get to start talking all crazy or whatever, just know that's part of their tactic. That's what they do. Say to yourself, there you go again. He's doing it again. Oh, he's just so manipulative, but it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, what else you gonna do next? You're gonna pout? You're gonna throw a tantrum? You're gonna break something? You're gonna punch a hole in the wall? You know what you gonna do now? You know, like, whatever, dude. This stuff don't bother me anymore. You have to stop letting it bother you is what I'm trying to tell you. So be prepared for resistance and backlash from the narcissist, and remain firm in your stance. So don't let up. So let's talk about self-care. Remember I said self-care is not selfish, because it's not. So prioritize your mental and your emotional well-being. Engage in activities that nurture and replenish you. I'm going to give you some things to do throughout the course. I'm going to give you something that you can do every day, especially when you get into those moments when the anxiety starts trying to take control, or when you're stressed out and he or she, the narcissist, has really just gotten on your nerves. I'm going to give you some techniques, okay? I'm going to give you some things that you can do, all right? So prioritize yourself first. You want to seek support from friends, family, and a life coach, which is me. You do get 6. I remember telling you get 6 sessions with me. So you get first off, by you taking this course right now online, you get 6 months. In the 6 months, you will get 1 session a week. You choose the session, that the day that you are available and the time that is available on my calendar. So, you're going to go on the website where it says booking calendar. Before you get to that spot, how you're going to get to that spot is that you're going to go where it says plans. And then you're going to see individual stress management coaching, and you're going to click on that. And then you're going to go where it says to book your session, and you're going to book a session, and you're going to go ahead and follow the steps from there, okay? It's very simple and easy. So make sure you do that, and you want to make sure that you get with either me or a therapist who can provide perspective and encouragement for you. Now you want to let's talk about limiting contact with the narcissist. If you're not living with the narcissist, you are in the best position. I say that because you don't have to lay down with the narcissist every night, okay? So, if it's possible, minimize contact with the narcissist. That this can help you reduce your frustration over time and to create space for you to focus on yourself. But if you are living with the narcissist, I got a method for you to help you in this. So, what method do I have? It is called the gray rock method. So consider implementing this method. I'm going to explain to you in full detail in a different video on how it works. You're going to go over the video. So I'm going to do two different versions. I'm going to do one that if you're living with the narcissist, how you can implement the gray rock method. And I'm going to do the other one in another video if you're not living with the narcissist, how you can do it. Because even if you're not living with them, you might say, well, I can just ghost them, but then they start popping up at your house and popping up at your job and all that stuff. So this is why it's so important to try this and try to do it exactly the way I'm going to explain it. So what is the gray rock method? Well, let me explain to you what that is if you don't know already. So you want to consider the gray rock method, where you become emotionally unresponsive and bored to the narcissist. So basically, you're going to be bored to discourage the narcissist from attempting engagement with you. So how that works is that you're going to be so boring to this person that they're not going to find you interesting anymore. And they're not going to want to talk to you. And that's what you want. That's what you want. You want them to leave you alone. It's one thing I need for people to understand is that people don't like rejection. They like to be the one to reject you, but they don't want you to reject them. So with the gray rock method, I'm teaching you to do a reverse psychology on them to get them to think that they left you, and let them say it. Let them say it. They go around telling people, "Oh, I left them. I left her. I don't want her." Be happy because they finally left you alone, and you finally get to have your peace. So let's continue. Seeking help and support. Professional support is very important, okay? It really does, because you want to work with a therapist who specializes in narcissistic abuse and boundary issues. You can find them out there. So you can probably look for a therapist. And if you can't afford one and you feel like, oh, I can't do it, I can help you too. So just letting you know. So, but what they provide is tools and strategies tailored to your situation. They can tailor some good stuff to your situation. Just letting you know that. Because they are very experienced in that area. Am I experienced in that area? Yeah, I am. I'm experienced, why I'm able to teach you this. But I also realize that I can't take on everybody. So I can only take on so many at a time. So that's why I'm telling you that you can reach out to other people as well. So you want to attain a support group where you can share your experiences and gain insight from others who have been through similar situations as you. Also, you want to continue to educate yourself. So you want to read books and articles on narcissistic personality disorder so you can constantly understand and be aware that it's not your fault. This is something that's going on with them. That's them, not you, okay? Boundary setting and emotional abuse. Acknowledge, and you want to acknowledge, you want to acknowledge yourself. You want to get knowledge on empowerment, on to how to empower and to recognize unhealthy patterns and make informed decisions. I'm going to help you in this course on some of that as well, but you want to continue it. After this course is over with, you want to go deeper. Continue to go deeper into your education. The more you know, the better you understand, the better you would do. Okay? So recognizing personal boundaries and identifying when you are violated by a narcissist involve self-awareness, education, and assertiveness. By understanding your rights, paying attention to your emotions and behavior reactions, and consistently enforcing your boundaries, you can protect yourself from further harm and begin to reclaim your sense of self. Remember, seeking help, seeking support from a trusted individual and a professional is crucial in this journey. So don't think that you can just do it all alone. I'm trying to think. Did I seek any help? I never reached out to a therapist. No. I did attempt. I remember I got online and I started like putting in all my little issues and stuff like that. And I had a therapist reach out to me 3 times, call me 3 times. And I mean, like one day, then the next day, and then waited a little while and then called me again. And I just didn't. I said, you know what? I responded on that 3rd time and I said, I'll contact you when I want to. Right now, I'm just not ready. I remember saying that. And I was not ready because I wasn't sure, like, what I'm going to talk about besides, what I already been talking about with my friends. I don't know. And then I was like, I was questioning it. What can they really do to help me with this, Because I know what they're going to say. I already know this about myself, that I don't have to put up with this, and I'm better than that. And, I was doing all that. But when I realized that I was rationalizing most of it, why I didn't want to seek the help, because I felt like if I sought out help like that, would they continue to be contacting me when I don't want to be contacted no more? I was thinking like, what doors am I opening? I wasn't sure about what doors I was opening because I had never really done therapy before. I mean, I've done counseling, but not therapy. And when I was ready to really just let it go, I did. I just talked myself into letting it go. I did. I said, you know what? I'm done. Like, for real this time. I used to say it like, oh, I'm done. But no, I was really done. And then I was trying to figure out how to keep him away from me. And the videos helped me. When I had everything documented and recorded, and I straight up told him, I'm taking this to the police, and I'm putting a protecting order against you. And I knew he didn't want to go to jail. One of those fears that he had was going to jail. I knew that about him. I knew his weakness. And I started using his weakness against him. And he stayed away. Because I knew his weakness and I was using him. It was time for me to turn the tables. And I started turning the tables. That's how I gained and got my strength back. Just letting you know. So, we're going to talk about the Gray Rock method. I do want to share that with you. So that's going to be the next video. The Gray Rock method, we're going to talk about when you are living apart first. We're going to talk about that. And then after that, we'll talk about when you are living together with the narcissist.